All right, guys, what's going on? I got some Bomb Warrior for you today. Before we do get into it, I want to remind you guys to subscribe, like, leave a comment if you do enjoy the content. But these are the three games I played this morning. The first one, I believe, is a mirror. The second one is against a priest who I kind of embarrassed, and I am never upset to embarrass a priest. And the last one is the mirror. I think that this matchup, it's hard to tell if this is the mirror because he doesn't get his weapon online, but just from how he kind of plays and the cards he plays, I feel like it's the mirror. So in the mulligan, we did hard mulligan for weapon or weapon draw. Unfortunately, we got both weapons and weapon draw, so our weapons will not be able to be drawn with Corsair Cache to give them more durability. We're also kind of looking for a really good interesting tech card in this deck. It's Cobalt Sticky Fingers. It steals your opponent's weapon. And this has kind of been made into a lot of these Bomb Warrior lists. And the list, it comes from Stealth, who last time I checked was in around 90 Legend, which is awesome. So we're gonna, after three turns of Armory up, I'm going to coin out my first Wrench Caliber. The idea here is I can swing these next two turns, and if he does have a Sticky Fingers, again, I'm not sure what deck this is. If he does have Sticky Fingers, then he won't be able to steal this one, and I can just play the next one if I need to. He's going to play out Blade Fist. We're going to kill that with our Armor and Shield Slam, so we will not be weaponing up this turn. But this deck is just kind of crazy because a lot of control decks have trouble reacting to what you're doing unless they run weapon hate. Because a lot of control decks, Priest, a good example, interacts with your board. Druid interacts with your board. The only real way you deal damage, and the end goal of this deck, is to deal damage with your weapon. And I don't know why the deck is not up on this. I definitely had to go on this morning. Doesn't matter. The deck code will be in the description. I'm going to clear his board and armor up, and thankfully I drew Sticky Fingers, and I'm really happy that I did. So if he steals it or plays his own, I can steal it back. So I'm a little more comfortable playing the weapon, and he has 3 bombs in his deck right now. Well, he has 2. He just drew 1. But yeah, this deck has been fun to play. I think I'm about 6-2 right now, which is pretty good. At around, I think I end this session at about 7,000-ish. Mid 7,000s Legend. He's going to play Kronks. And we're kind of thinking what we're going to do here. We want to coerce it, but we want to coerce it well, so we're going to ditch a card that we don't need for Corsair's Cache because we have no weapons left in our deck to draw. And we're just going to coerce and kill his minion. And we can't armor up around him. We don't have enough mana, so we're going to chill. We're kind of waiting for weapon upgrades more than anything. And he's probably just going to play his... Yep, he's going to play the Galvatron. Galvatron has no invokes in this deck, which I think is kind of interesting. But you draw 1 minion in your deck and give it +4/+4, and getting the Hero Power makes your attack do more damage. So we draw 2 cards with Cutting Class. We're going to attack face again, shuffle another bomb into his deck, then re-equip the weapon with Horde Pillager. I think I called it Loot Hoarder one time. I believe it is Horde Pillager. And the reason I'm not sure what this kind of warrior I'm playing against is because he doesn't really do anything for most of the game. He plays pretty controlly, which means this could be a control warrior, but he doesn't do enough for me to know what kind of deck he is playing. So this is kind of scary. He gains some armor. We're going to Athletic Studies and discover our own Blade Fist. And then instead of hitting ourselves for 10, we're going to trade ours in and then sword and board it to gain some armor and kill it. And then also go face. Just shuffling bombs into his deck. We can go Dr. Boom whenever we want to now and play Whirlwind to kill all our boom bots, which is awesome. I think a lot of his hand is very reactive, which is why I'm thinking it might be more control. Because he's not really being proactive. He's not, unless he just didn't draw any of his weapons. He's going to play a 12-12, which is fine. I think here we are going to armor up, shield slam it, and then trade, but I want to see here in a second. I think about playing Boom, but I don't think it makes much sense. The thing is, issue is I don't really want to lose my weapon, but I'd rather not continually take 12 to the face, so we're going to kill his Deathwing by taking 12 to the face once, and shuffle another bomb into his deck. He's going to draw another one. I believe right now he has 4 in his deck, maybe only has 3 now, but double draw is pretty unlucky for him. He's going to play Lord Barrow, which isn't going to do too much at all. So, based on how, in retrospect, that I see this game, this is definitely a control warrior who is not able to do a whole lot of warrior control-y things because he can't. I'm not creating a board for him to react to, which is fine by me. We're going to play our own Galakrond, and we're going to draw a Deathwing and make it a 16/16. We're going to hero power and then train into the Lord Barrow. We don't need to really worry about him doing much. He's going to draw another bomb and get down to 16. Part of the issue with turning a Galakrond as control warrior is you lose your armor up, which I mean may not be a bad thing. You have other ways to gain armor. I'm kind of holding on that sticky fingers just in case he does is bomb and plays a Wrench Caliber or plays something I want to steal. If he is control and played a Bulwark of Aznaroth, then I would like to take that. But he's going to Whirlwind to get a card out of his hand so he can Cutting Class, and then Whirlwind again so he has an overdraw. The Cutting Class makes me think that this is a Bomb Warrior that's just not running Sticky Fingers, and instead it's replaced Sticky Fingers with Blade Fist. I just don't know. We're going to play Dr. Boom Mad Genius. Just put a whole bunch of stats on board. Oh, it's only 4/4 worth of stats extra. We're just going to go face. We're going to let him deal with this. It's either he deals with it or he loses. But he has to place stuff into this, which is fine. If he's going to slow the game down, we're going to play the game slow too. I think he's just kind of out of options for the most part. Especially because there's at least one more bomb in his deck. And again, I do think I might have disconnected here. I did not. But he is taking his time to figure it out. I think he runs this turn out because, if I recall, I think he leaves the game, but he doesn't. We just have to wait for the rope to come out. But we played this game really well. Against control decks, they don't have a lot to interact with unless they have weapon hate. And if they have weapon hate, you ways to get your weapon back or steal it back. Because I think Cobalt Sticky Fingers is becoming a pretty interesting tech card. I haven't seen much Ooze on ladder, but I've only played 8 games with this deck. He's going to run the rope out. He's probably just left. He probably has closed his Hearthstone clients. I don't get why people do that. Just concede if you've lost. It's okay. So we'll wait for our turn. I think what we do end up doing here is just playing Whirlwind, and our Boom bots just actually find lethal by doing that. We have so many lethal outs. We're just going to Whirlwind. Waste everyone's time a little bit. Specifically ours, because I don't think he's in the game anymore. But yeah, that's exactly lethal with the Boom bots. That's going to be game 1. So game 2, these last 2 games, I'm going to put up some more Bomb Warrior later this week or weekend. These last 2 games are much shorter. And I put the Priest one in here because we do embarrass a Priest. It's so satisfying. So we're going to hard mulligan for... Oh, and actually we don't need a hard mulligan because we have Corsair Cash. We don't need a hard mulligan. So we're just going to get rid of the Deathwing because we don't need it on turn 1. And Priest or Control, I wasn't sure how this matchup was going to go, because I'm pretty sure Priest has enough room to run some kind of weapon hate. I'm pretty sure that they might tech in a Cobalt Sticky Fingers. So I'm really not sure what to expect from Priest. My goal is to get better at understanding the matchup and playing Priest more in general. And I kind of roll my eyes at this point, because I'm like, oh, it's going to be one of these games where they just run the rope out. So I'm not going to waste my own time. I'm going to play athletic studies, and I'm like, these are not that good. And I don't really know what to end up take. I think I end up taking the Faceless. I'm thinking the 8-8 because the game could go long. I mean, the 8 mana because the game could go long, but I think I end up picking Faceless. Yeah, I think that's what I end up choosing to end my turn. None of those were very good. You could probably say that the 2-mana 2/1 that dies into a Murloc would be the right choice, but none of those are that good. Luckily, he does not go to the rope this time. We're going to draw Wrench Caliber from our deck with Corsair's Cache. We can start going off next turn, which is nice. I'm not sure if we will. Kind of depends what we draw. Or what he does. If he plays a mini I have to kill, like Sethic Veilweaver, we have to kill it. Well, we drew Horde Pillager, so we're going to just coin out the weapon. And we're going to go face 4/3. Again, this matchup is pretty decent against Priests because they have to their cards are very reactionary to what you do on board. And like I've been saying, if they don't run weapon hates, you don't really have much reaction. I mean, they don't really have much to react to, I guess, is the way that something should have been phrased. He's still chilling. He's a control deck who needs to react to what we're doing on board. He's just going to heal, which is fine by me. And we are going to upgrade and then draw 2 cards with a 1-cost cutting class. And I'm pretty happy now that I drew that, because Colo Sticky Fingers, if he does run it, we can just take it back, which is a really powerful thing to do. And this is where we embarrass the Priest. He, in a few seconds, once he figures out what he wants to do, is going to play Mind Render Lucia, which has been recently nerfed. And he cannot play my Cobalt Sticky Fingers. He's going to realize that he cannot do anything with my hand. And once he realizes that, he's going to concede. It's so satisfying to make the Priest disruption. And this is the last game. This is a mirror. And the beginning of the game is very similar. Like, we have the exact same turn. It's so weird. So we're going to hard mulligan for Wrench Caliber or a way to draw into Wrench Caliber. We get Cobalt Sticky Fingers, which is awesome. And we get 2 Corsair Caches, which is also awesome. We draw into Deathwing. Deathwing is not a card we're going to need too much. On turn 1, though, he's going to end up coining, because I remember this game from this morning, into Corsair Cache. And I don't think that this is the right play, because you're not playing Wrench Caliber a turn before it happens. Like, it comes down on 4 usually, but you can coin, if you just wait a turn, you can just Corsair Cache, then play the buffed Wrench Caliber on 3, which is pretty powerful. But he's going to play his second Corsair Cache. We're going to play our second Corsair's Cache. We're going to get into a stick-hitting battle here in a second. And I get to activate mine first now, which is beneficial. It's better if I have my weapon before he does. He runs Shield Block in his deck. I think Firebat was running a version that ran Shield Block. We drew Kronks, but we're just going to weapon up. And we're going to go face for 3. Shuffle Dominus deck. Fine by me. He's going to play his Wrench Caliber. That makes sense. I'm going to take some damage, but it's all good. And this game is going to show out how good Cobalt Sticky Fingers is. Not much we can do here besides swing and armor up. Shuffling out Obama's deck. You have to be pretty used to just armoring up some turns. And he's going to draw on his bombs and deal some damage to his face. 5 damage. During his turn, I don't believe there's much he can do on his turn. Because again, we have nothing on board for him to really do. He's going to draw 2 cards with Cutting Class. And I'm thinking here it's probably best just to tempo out Kronks. So on our turn, that's what we're going to do. After all this animation gets done. So yeah. So my thought here is, after we attack, we're not going to weapon up. We can, but I'm thinking that if he has any kind of... I'm specifically thinking if he has Dr. Krasnov in his deck. If he has it in his hand, he plays it, we can steal a pretty buffed up weapon. Yeah, so there's the Dr. Krasnov. He's going to slam into it for 4 and buff his weapon. Once the animation goes. There we go. So he attacks. He has a 4-2 weapon now. He's also going to sword and board it. I don't get why he... Well, you'll see in a second. This is where Cobalt Sticky Finger shines. Shuffles the bottom of my deck. But we also draw Upgrade, which is awesome. So we're going to take his weapon now. Upgrade it. I don't know why he's going to concede here after this. But he is. He could still play this game out. But... guys, that's going to do it for now. I'll see you in the next one. Remember to like, subscribe, try Bomb Warrior if you haven't. See ya.